Good evening. Welcome to the Tuesday, July 15th, 2025 Sugar Land City Council meeting. I'm going to open with an invocation, so I invite you to stand and join me. Dear God, we come before you with gratitude for the wonderful city of Sugar Land. We are thankful for our city staff who tirelessly work on behalf of our residents. We lift up our city, county, state, and nation in prayer. We seek your protection for Sugar Land and our residents. We ask you to safeguard our first responders who serve our city with unwavering commitment. We also pray for our Sugar Land employees who are assisting with the flooding recovery operations in Central Texas. And we pray for all those affected by this devastating tragedy. As we gather for this meeting, we seek your guidance in our thoughts and words. Grant us wisdom, discernment, courage, and compassion in our deliberations. Help us to make decisions that honor you and serve the best interest of our city and residents. We offer these prayers with humility and gratitude. In your name we pray, amen. So now we have interns with State Representative Dr. Suleiman Lalani's office. They're going to lead us in our pledges. So why don't you all come on down? All of you can come on down and just be right in this area here. And I'd like to acknowledge Sarah McNosiev, Community Relations. But anyway, so y'all come on down, make your way here. And so this is a really great summer internship program for high school students and college students. And it's a 1-month leadership program where interns are tasked with learning about the legislative process, developing their unique ideas into potential legislation, attending local public meetings, touring government facilities, meeting and talking to a wide variety of public figures, business leaders, and civil servants, and serving the community through service initiatives like improving the trails in Cullinan Park and assisting with humanitarian aid. So we have Izzy Riesvy and Madeline Medrano are going to lead our pledges. So, okay, here you go. Start. And there's the, there you go. Okay, there's the.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. And let's get a picture. Okay, Council, you may just want to stay up there with the group here, but let's get a picture of everybody here.
Could I get maybe like the last 3 or 4 of you over on this side, and if I could get on this side, if we could crowd in just a little bit. There we go. Okay, right into the lens if you could. 3, 2, 1. All right, thank you all.
Thank y'all so much for coming in tonight and having a tour of City Hall and learning more about city government. Okay, next is public comment, item number 5. So pursuant to Texas Government Code, citizens are permitted to address the City Council with regard to matters posted for consideration on the agenda. Do we have any public commenters?
No, Mayor, we do not.
Okay, So no public comment, okay. We'll move on to item 6, the consent agenda. All consent agenda items listed are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion, except when a council member has requested to remove an item from the consent agenda and consider it in its normal sequence on the agenda. I've got requests to pull off items A, F, and H. Do any other council members wish to have any other items pulled off of consent? Okay, well, we'll have a motion on consent agenda items B through E, G, and I.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Jacobson, second by Miller. Okay, let's vote at this time. Okay, and it passes 7-0. Okay, so now we have item A, and that would be Chief of Police Laura.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. This item in particular is for consideration and action on authorization of amendment number 2 for the 5-year contract with the Flock Group in the amount of $547,009.94 for years 2 through 5 for reinstallation services and consolidation of leasing contracts of 53 additional license plate recognition cameras for a total contract amount of $2,232,990.58. Those are some questions.
Councilmember Betcher, question?
Yeah, thank you, Chief. So there's a lot going on in this with the amendment to the contract. I just wanted to get some background of what the original contract was. Looks like it was for 1.7 million for a set amount of cameras. Can you touch on what the original amount of cameras was, and then what the total amount will be with all the amendments we're making?
With the original contract was for 106 cameras, 53 that were being installed throughout city streets, and 53 that were requiring TxDOT permitting and approval for those. This particular item is in reference to those 53 TxDOT ones that the contract didn't initiate until those first cameras hit the ground. So when the project is completely done, once we tie in these 53 to the original 53 from the city side, and then an additional phase that was added was an additional 70 cameras, we should have 176 cameras installed throughout the city with 2 deployable cameras in addition, so 178 cameras total.
Okay, and then this also increases the additional yearly maintenance fee, correct?
Correct, no more than $19,000.
Okay, and then this comes from normal operating budgets, or I remember?
So the first phase of it utilized ARPA funding, and then the additional phases were from other funding, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I noticed a lot of the cameras are being swapped out. Are we having issues with them that there needs to be replaced, or?
There's some with a lot of the construction that we weren't anticipating on 90 and 99, as well as 59 with the Brazos River Bridge. Instead of having those cameras held up and not being utilized, we decided to go ahead and reinstall them in other areas of the city through city permitting, which was a lot faster than TxDOT.
Okay. Last question. Can you just comment on some of the good things that have come out of the cameras? And
everything from bank jugging to missing persons to folks with warrants, stolen vehicles as well. We've had a lot of success with this program. As always, we always reevaluate our programs as they come close. For this particular contract, we wanted to clean that up and consolidate it to where all the contracts end at the same time. We'll start exploring options towards the end of that contract to see if this is still cost effective, but also continues to drive those successes for us.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. Thank you for helping keep Sugar Land safe. Motion to approve.
Councilmember Single.
Yeah, I have a request that, can you provide some statistics to the council at later stage about the effectiveness of this in terms of how many crimes it helped to solve over a year period or so?
We can. I'll work with my team, and then we'll work through Natalie to get you that data.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any further questions from council? Okay, so we've got consideration of an action on authorization of amendment number 2 to the 5-year contract with Flock Group, Inc. in the amount of $547,009.94 for years 2 through 5. Okay, we have a motion by Betcher and a second by Watley. Let's vote at this time. Okay, and motion passes 7-0. Next is item F, consideration of an action on a contract with Bass Construction Company, Inc. in the amount of $570,000 for public safety facilities bay door improvements for the Public Safety and Public Services Building Rehabilitation Project, CIP CMU 2202, utilizing 2019 general obligation funds. And we have Herkmeyer here.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This contract here is for bay door rehabilitation at our public safety buildings. That includes fire stations 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the PD. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, Councilmember Singal?
So I noticed that the amount is quite large, but there is only one single bid. In this particular case, only one bidder. Do you think any other effort can be made to get at least 2 bids to see that the pricing is right?
So this project was engineered through our consultant on the scope of work. We worked with them to bid the project and, again, develop a scope of work. We had a pre-construction walkthrough meeting. We had 3 contractors that showed up. We ultimately only received 1 bid. We had conversations with our purchasing department and with the engineer that sees this scope of work bid on a much regular basis because of the type of work that they do. And they indicated that if we were to delay and to go back out to bid, we potentially could see higher prices. And their suggestion was that this price was within their forecasted amount for this project and to move forward with this project.
Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Watley?
Thank you, Mayor. Herc, could you explain the importance of why we're doing this? Because I think everyone needs to understand the importance of what's happening.
So the importance of this is our bay doors across our public safety, they have some different size springs, different size rollers, the hardware and mechanisms to them. And so we looked at that because as a city, we want to ensure that our bay doors do not hinder the response by any public safety. And so we took that into consideration of how do we make these bay doors last very long and do not hinder that, because we have had some failures in the past, and so we don't want to do that. And so it is important to ensure that our bay doors operate at any given moment, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And so the improvements that are being made to it, again, is from a standardization of maintenance and hardware, the springs that are on it. We're also installing LED lights to indicate is the door open or closed, getting away from a single photo eye and going to a 4-foot laser curtain as far as to protect the door if anything breaks that point. And then we're also integrating the bay doors into our bay heaters to ensure that when the bay doors are up, our heaters, we do not keep running our bay heaters heating the atmosphere.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any further, Councilmember Bescher?
One quick question. How many bay doors are we actually upbidding as part of this
29.
project? 29?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Any further questions from council? Okay, motion by Singal and a second by Miller. Let's vote at this time. Oh, it's not popping up? Okay. Okay, we'll do a roll call vote then.
Councilmember Betcher.
Yes.
Councilmember Jacobson.
Yes.
Councilmember Bondahar.
Yes.
Councilmember Watley.
Yes.
Councilmember Singal.
Yes.
Councilmember Miller.
Yes.
Mayor McCutcheon.
Yes. Okay, so motion carries. Okay, next item H, consideration of an action on a 3-year artwork lease agreement with Kozo Industries LLC in the annual amount of $40,000 for 3 Hi By Kozo sculptures at Smart Financial Center, and $40,000 for installation and de-installation services. This contract has a total contract amount of $160,000, and we have Nicole Guevara with us. Nicole?
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I don't have a presentation tonight, but I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Yeah. Councilmember Betcher?
Yeah, so I pulled this one. I was hoping you could put up a picture on the screen of what you guys were looking to do. So I'll quick summarize it. They're looking to put 3 statues over by Smart Financial. It looks like it's a 3-year agreement for $160K, $40K for each year, $40K for the, well, covering install and removing. So this is a temporary fixture to be there for 3 years only. One of my questions was, have we considered purchasing versus leasing in this case? What would the cost be to just purchase them and leave them there versus leasing?
So this company is known around the world. They've got permanent installations in cities like London and Singapore. So as you can imagine, owning a piece by them would be very expensive. We do have, a certain budgeted amount. So we did look at that, but at the end of the day, we decided that for the purpose of this plaza, we wanted something that was a little bit more temporary so that we could look at how it activated the plaza, what sort of engagement we got with the pieces. Obviously, maintenance, long-term maintenance is always an issue. That played a big role in deciding to lease it versus actually purchasing it. So we're hoping to see what sort of engagement and then determine what permanently is placed in the plaza.
So did you have a cost though?
No, we did not.
You talked about maintenance, so Sugar Land is on the hook for maintenance for this, correct?
From
3 years?
Just in regards to cleaning, the lease requires that Kozo Industries actually maintain and make any repairs if there were any damage.
Location-wise, I think in the picture you have in the files, it's all the way to the left by the road, correct? Is there an intent for people to walk past this as they're walking into the Smart Financial, or what was the intent behind location?
So if you think of that elevated space in the middle of the plaza, that stage area, it is between the stage area and the street along that main walkway. So there was, no, that concrete pad didn't have anything. But yeah, it's along the main walkway coming from, I'm trying to angle myself, coming from the larger section of the parking lot.
Okay.
Councilmember Jacobson?
Thank you, Mayor. Nicole, as I understand it, this is not coming out of property tax dollars. It's actually coming out of 4B dollars, which is a quarter of a cent set aside specifically for items that enhance our city, correct?
That is correct.
No property tax dollars, no regular sales tax dollars, just
Strictly
that.
4B.
Thank you.
I have one more follow-up. So with that being said, coming out of the 4B Corporation, what is the intent or desired intent for the installation of these statues?
To activate that underutilized space, the plaza, we want to see more folks visit it, spend more time in it. And then also we had pieces there that we removed. So we want to make sure that we replace it with something else that creates an engaging atmosphere in the plaza.
Okay. Because the one thing I'm going to have to struggle talking to my constituents with is justifying spending $160K for something that's going to disappear in 3 years. So with that, Mayor, motion to table.
Okay, a motion to table would need a second. Okay, hearing none, do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion to approve by Watley with a second by Jacobson. Let's vote at this time. Okay, the motion passes 5-2. Okay, next, item number 7A, consideration of and action on the appointment of a municipal officer and animal shelter employee for unexpired terms ending September 30th, 2025 to the Animal Advisory Board. And our appointees are Melissa Hobson as the municipal official and Mark Grothus as the animal shelter employee. Do we have a motion? Okay. Okay, we've got a motion by Singal, a second by Vonderhaar. Let's vote at this time. Okay, and the motion passes 7-0. Next, item number 8A, receive for filing the city manager's proposed fiscal year 2026 annual budget and fiscal year 2026 to 2030 5-year capital improvement program. And we have Shalay Stedman, our Director of Budget.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm going to see. Okay, here we go. Good evening, Mayor and Council. As required by city charter, a proposed budget must be submitted to council each year. What we're presenting tonight fulfills that obligation. There is no action item. This is just for your review. While I have the honor of presenting our proposed budget, this budget represents countless hours of hard work and collaboration. I want to express my deep appreciation to our small but mighty budget team, namely Justin Mejorado, Mike Martinez, Lee Sue, and Crosby Q, for their dedication, as well as staff across the organization who contributed to its development. So tonight, I'm going to be covering several things, including our leadership and financial stewardship, fiscal year 2025 highlights, our 2026 budget overview, fiscal year 2026 through 2030 capital improvement plan, and then key dates and milestones. So the city of Sugar Land has had a long history of being strong financial stewards. This is highlighted through our conservative financial planning, low residential and commercial tax burden, and a champion workforce dedicated to providing value-added service levels. This strong stewardship has allowed us to maintain AAA bond ratings and ensured a strong financial plan. Sugar Land continues to shine, earning national recognition as one of the best places to live, raise a family, and stay safe, just to name a few. These honors aren't just accolades, they're a reflection of our trailblazing spirit, our bold vision, and our relentless pursuit of what's best for our community. So talking about what's happened so far in fiscal year 2025, in January, the city adopted the 25 through 27 Strategic Action Plan, a unifying framework that aligns all departments around a shared vision for Sugar Land's future. The fiscal year 26 budget is grounded in the strategic outcome areas set by council with a strong focus on the all-in initiatives. One such initiative is our fostering sensitive redevelopment, and we've taken bold steps in that direction. We recently acquired the iconic Imperial Char House in the Historic District. City Council also adopted the Lake Point Green redevelopment plan and approved incentives to attract investment in this key mixed-use area. And to preserve Sugar Land's town square as a cultural and economic anchor, council approved 3 performance agreements to modernize infrastructure and stay competitive in a changing market. We're also celebrating major economic wins. AOI is reshoring production to Sugar Land, and our partnership with Plug and Play is fueling innovation and future growth. Visit Sugar Land expanded its digital reach with a new website, now drawing 30,000 to 40,000 monthly visitors. And signature events like Sugar Land Jazz Beats and Sweet Beats had local economic impact. To continue on, this year Sugar Land continued to trailblaze in using data to deliver citywide services, launching a resident feedback platform, Sugar Land Speaks, deploying the no traffic AI detection system to optimize traffic flow and identify safety risks, and implementing technology that helps first responders reach emergencies faster. In fiscal year 25, Sugar Land also enhanced the EMS response with cardiac monitor upgrades, launched a successful citywide volunteer day, and continued the Great Homes program, and advanced smart water meter reading through AMI. At the adoption of fiscal year 25's budget, staff promised to rethink and find opportunities to be efficient. This year, staff conducted a thorough evaluation of internal operations and made strategic data-driven decisions to improve efficiency and resource allocation, identifying $2.1 million in personnel savings and $2.6 in operation efficiencies. While significant progress was made this year, the work is ongoing. Staff will continue to pursue operational efficiencies to ensure that the city delivers exceptional services in fiscally responsible manner. In alignment with these changes, there are no additional FTEs added to the fiscal year 2026 budget in the general fund, and FTEs is our full-time equivalents. So moving on to our economic outlook, we have our consumer price index. Over the past 5 years, inflation peaked at 10.2%, but has since stabilized between 1% to 2%. Cumulative inflation since 2019 is 21%, meaning something that cost $100 then now costs about $121. Sales tax continues to be strong with consistent growth in our reoccurring sales tax. This consistent overperformance is seen in fiscal year 25, with each month averaging about 10.56% above budget. Combining those two, this chart shows the 12-month rolling totals of sales tax collection in the shaded area, and the year-over-year percentage change, which is that blue line, compared with the CPI on the red dashed line. Sales tax collection rebounded sharply in 2021 and peaked in 2022. Since then, sales tax growth has moderated, but remains positive, even as CPI has leveled off. This divergence between sales tax growth and inflation suggests that strong collections are being driven by continued consumer activity, not just price increases. So the key takeaway is strong sales tax performance isn't being driven by inflation, but people are still spending. Okay, now we'll get into the fiscal year 2026 budget. So starting out, our high-level budget priorities. First, we have public safety. 18.7% of our operating budget goes for public safety. Included in fiscal year 26 budget is new funding to send 3 EMTs to paramedic school annually, continued investment in the first responders drone program, O&M funding for the new public safety training facility, and the annual lease for those cardiac monitors we mentioned earlier, as well as the implementation of VOC, which is an emergency management software for disaster communication and tracking. Our next high-level budget priority is redevelopment. In fiscal year 26, we have the remaining $2.65 million for the Lake Point development, $150,000 for O&M for Imperial, and funding for another year of the Great Homes program, and also parks rehabilitation funding. Our next area is our championship workforce. In here, we have updates to the learning management system to support employee training and development, as well as prescription safety goggles to improve employee safety in the field. Lastly, for our data-based decision-making, we have increases for fiber optic infrastructure to support connectivity across city assets. This is going to lay the groundwork for smarter data use in the future and really connects all of our assets across the city. And then also we have final implementation of Samsara GPS telematics licensing for improved fleet tracking and operational efficiency. For fiscal year 2026, our personnel benefits impacts. The budget continues to prioritize investments in our employees, compensation, and benefits, recognizing staff as a critical asset. It includes a 3% merit pool, a 3.5% market adjustment, as well as step increase for public safety and dispatch. Okay, so now jumping specifically to our general fund. The general fund funds primary operations for the city, from public safety to public works, and it is personnel driven. 76% of the budget is connected to personnel expenditures. 34% of the budget comes from our property tax, which would, whereas public safety has 44% of that general fund. General fund revenues totaled at $136.9 million, with 42% coming from sales tax and 33% from property tax. The fiscal year 26 budget is funded by revenues based on a preliminary 2026 tax roll of $21.3 billion. This proposed tax rate will be determined once we have the certified tax roll, and then after we do the truth in taxation calculations. The recommended increase for the aggregate rate is the penny in connection with the 24 GEO bond implementation. Fiscal year 2026 proposed budget for sales tax is $57.1 million, and this forecast was done following our fiscal management policies, only using reoccurring sales tax and using this 1.2 CPI for the first fiscal year of the budget. General fund expenditures total $140.7 million, and this includes transfers to other funds. In fiscal year 26, with 44% dedicated to public safety, reflecting the city's continued priority on community protection and emergency response. Our next fund we'll talk about briefly is our debt service fund. This is where we account for all of the city's general obligation debt. It's like our mortgage, if you will. It is primarily funded through property tax. And like I mentioned, this year we are looking to implement the planned approximate penny increase in connection to the 2024 GEO bond elections. Through aggressive debt repayment and AAA rated financial management, the city maintains strong capacity for future projects. We'll jump to our enterprise funds. Our enterprise funds are not supported by our taxes. They are supported by user fees, and they are very similar to like a business. We have 4 enterprise funds: our utility, airport, solid waste, and stormwater funds. Starting with utility, total revenues are projected at $125.6 million, with the majority coming from user fees. A 3% rate increase is proposed, resulting in an average $3 per month for residents, customers using about 10,000 gallons of water and 6,000 gallons of wastewater. Next, we have our airport, ranked number 3 best U.S. FBO overall. The airport continues to shine, driven by strong fuel sales. That is 69% of their revenues, and total revenue is at $55.2 million. Fiscal 26 has a few additional expenditures, one-time investments for the World Cup readiness, something we're all looking forward to, FBO upgrades, and changes with their Cafe Select. Our next enterprise fund is solid waste. Solid waste fund primarily acts as a pass-through for contracted services, with a 5% rate increase in 2026 and a new charge for emergency debris recovery. And we're also added to the budget this year is a household hazardous event. This is an opportunity to help residents properly dispose of hazardous materials. Our last enterprise is the Stormwater Fund. This is used to account for stormwater compliance activities, drainage-related maintenance, and operations previously funded in the general fund. Total expenses are about $2 million. Jumping to our capital improvement program, Sugarland voters approved the $350 million in the GEO bonds on November 5th of 2024 to fund critical investments in public safety, infrastructure, drainage facilities, and a new animal shelter. The proposed capital improvement program for fiscal years 2026 through 2030 includes over 300 projects, inclusive of both active and future projects. These projects span critical infrastructure categories such as mobility, drainage, utilities, parks, airport, and together these projects represent a comprehensive investment in the city's future, improving public safety, expanding capacity, and addressing aging infrastructure. The CIP is strategically phased to align with available funding, grant opportunities, and community priorities. Together, these projects represent a comprehensive investment in the city's future, improving public safety, expanding capacity, addressing the aging infrastructure. In total, the fiscal year 26 through 30 projects include $766 million. Fiscal year 26 capital projects is at $183.9 million and includes $74.3 million of GEO bond projects and $99.5 million for capital projects from the enterprise. Our economic development corporations include Sugarland Development Corporation and Sugarland 4B Corporation. Both of these are funded by a quarter-cent sales tax, where Sugarland SLDC is investing $16.5 million to support primary industrial growth and strategic projects, and 4B is allocating $12 million towards economic development and quality of life initiatives. Jumping to Tourism Fund, which is funded by our HOT tax, or hotel occupancy tax. This one has a total of $1.8 million and includes things like our hotel occupancy grant program and FIFA World Cup incentives. So in summary, we have $335.95 million for total operating funds, and a total fiscal year 26 proposed budget of $519.84 million. While you all should have received a copy of the printed budget, it is also available on the city's website, along with our CIP digital book. This is the first year we are doing an only online CIP digital book, and that's because if you go online, you have an interactive website that you can see the maps of where the projects are going and a lot of detail on those projects. And while I have covered a lot of information today rather quickly, the good news is that we have several budget workshops planned to go over all of this information in greater detail. So this August, we will be spending a lot of time together every Thursday morning at 7:30 to 10:30. We will be talking about different topics. Starting with August 7th, we'll be talking about our general fund, public safety, and benefits compensation. On August 14th, we will be talking about the property tax, debt service, and capital projects. And August 21, we will be having several department presentations with our community services, including parks, redevelopment, and public works, as well as we'll be talking about some of our smaller funds. And on August 28th, we will be covering enterprise funds and economic corporations. Some key dates to be aware of is July 25th, we received the certified tax roll. August 7th is where we have the submission of the voter approval rate. And then August 19th is we record the vote on the tax rate. September 2nd, we have the public hearing and first reading of our fee ordinance, 2 PID assessments, Enclave and Park at Eldridge, and then we will also bring our year-end estimates and do our final budget amendment for fiscal year 25. September 9th, we have a special council meeting to hold a public hearing on the proposed tax rate. And September 16th, we will wrap it all up with and approve the fiscal year 2026 budget, the capital improvement plan, and compensation plan, along with the 2025 tax rate, and have the second reading of the fee ordinance and PID assessments. So in conclusion, the proposed fiscal year 2026 budget reflects our unwilling commitment to fiscal responsibility, strategic investment, and exceptional service to the community. It's both our roadmap and our reflection of our shared values, balancing today's needs while planning for a resilient, vibrant future. We respectfully submit this proposal for your consideration.
Well, thank you, Shalay, to you and your team for all the hard work that you've done on the budget, and great job on the $4.7 million of savings and operational efficiencies that you found. And so as y'all can see, we're going to be spending 12 hours, next month on the budget together. We've extended the time by an hour each meeting to allow plenty of time for questions. But if you have any questions or comments tonight, I will be happy to take them. Councilmember Jacobson?
I was thinking maybe I'll just save it for the budget workshop, which is open to the public.
It is open to the public. It'll be at 7:30 every Thursday.
I'll save it for when they're all ready for that.
Okay.
Yes, Councilmember Singal?
Yeah, so first of all, very good work, thank you. And I thank all the city staff, and especially the first responder and the safety personnel for doing a good job. I want to just pass one feedback from my constituent, which I heard a lot in the last 5-6 months. I have been talking to people. So a lot of residents feel a very heavy burden of the property tax increasing, mostly because of the increase in the property value, which has been actually increasing more than the inflation rate. As you said, the inflation rate is now 3-4%. But the property tax has been increasing by 7, 8, or up to 10%. Because of that, the actual tax dollar amount is increasing quite a bit. Now, the request from people were actually to cut the percentage rate or the which we have. Now, of course, the proposal has $0.01 increase in the property rate. I obviously look forward to working with you and others over the 3-4 weeks to see where we can do the saving. But definitely the expectation from people is that the property tax rate be not increased, and we somehow accommodate it within what we have. That's the expectation which I have from my constituents. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So now item number 9, City Council and City Manager reports. So Councilmember Watley, we'll start with you.
Okay, you caught me off guard, Mayor. I really just want to say one thing. Thank you to the foundation, the Heritage Foundation. They did a fabulous job. I think many of you were there. Our mayor was there. Stuart was there. Councilmember Vonda Hart, and Sanjay, you were there. Thank you guys for coming and supporting the foundation on the 100th year of the Char House. And if you didn't get a chance, I think you can still get posters and t-shirts to support their efforts. So congratulations, guys. You did a great job.
Thank you. Councilmember Singal?
It was the same. The Sugarland Heritage Foundation did a great job. I really liked the event, and I think it reinforces our commitment to keep that, heritage alive. Thank you.
Councilmember Miller?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I want to thank the city staff for all the great works in the orientation process. It was exceptional. Thank you very much. And then I attended the LID 11 meeting, and I was in bed for the celebration. I was sick.
Oh, okay. Councilmember Vonda Hart?
Yeah, I would like to echo what Councilman Miller said. The new members of council finished our orientation process last week, and the staff that put those programs on did a phenomenal job. Just a lot of hard work and a lot of effort went into that, and so thank you to everyone who participated. Just a great program. And then echo what others have said about the Char House celebration. A great celebration and a great symbol of how important that the sugar factory is to the history of our city. So great job.
Councilmember Jacobson?
Thank you, Mayor. Everything's already been said.
Okay. Councilmember Betcher?
So to reiterate what council members Rick and Jim have said and Sanjay, so the city staff has put on a intro training for the new council members. We have 4 new council members. And this past week or two, we spent time learning about emergency management, the communications calls and how traffic is managed within the city. We've learned about the airport operations and many other things. So thank you all for putting it on. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes for the city. So we just thank the city staff for keeping things running and making Sugar Land a great place to live.
Okay, yeah, and the Imperial celebration was really, really wonderful. So anyway, Councilmember Betcher and I attended Red, White, and Boom, and that was always a lot of fun to see the fireworks, and also attended the Cosmic Baseball with their glowing outfits, and Jim Calloway's granddaughter did a great job singing the national anthem, and I attended a Union Corridor sign-raising ceremony at the Vietnam Buddhist Temple, which celebrated the diverse places of worship in that area. So, City Manager, do you have a report?
Thank you, Mayor. I would just say I wanted to thank our staff for the hard work on this budget. It's taken a long time to get here, and I'm really proud of all the efficiency work and the fact that our employees, with the reduction in the number of employees, are working harder to do the same job. Also want to thank the council. A lot of cities don't do the orientation the way we do, and it's not the dozens and dozens of hours of commitment. Y'all all have your own lives. And the fact that you put that aside to do this, I just want to thank you and appreciate that and look forward to all of the workshops coming up. Thank you, Mayor.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, so I think having completed the agenda, I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Okay, so moved.